Now we have NVIDIA. So this is an example of an individual stock that you could invest in. Not saying you should, not financial advice, but I'm just showing you how much I've put into NVIDIA over the past few years. As you can see here, I started buying NVIDIA back in October 27, 2023, and I just started with $8. You know what I mean? What's up, fam? Welcome back to JRS TV. You know, my channel, we cover all things business, investing, and self-improvement content. If that's something you're interested in, consider leaving a like, comment, and subscribe. If you return to your channel, appreciate you tuning back in, showing the love. Hit that like for the algorithm, man. You know, if y'all find this video helpful, hit that like for me. It really helped. But I'm going to keep it real simple. You see the title, How to Invest for Beginners. I get a lot of people asking me, Jonathan, I'm trying to get in investing. It's complicated. I don't know where to start, this, that, and the other. Investing is pretty simple. It's hard, but it's simple. It's simple. The hardest part, the easiest part is putting your money into an ETF. I'll get into that, and just letting it sit. The hardest part is letting it sit, not touching it. People like to be fidgety. They see it go up 10% and want to take it out and go buy something. They see it go down 10%. They get scared and take it out. You got to just let it sit. That's the hardest part of investing. Put the money in every week, every month, at least every month. Just let it sit. Let it do its work. Got to let compound interest do its thing. You know what I mean? So first of all, what do you need to invest? You need more income than expenses. So you need a job. You know what I mean? You need more income than expenses. If you make $1,000 a month, if you make $2 a month and you're spending $2 a month, you ain't gonna have no extra money to spend to invest. If you make $2,000 a month and you spend $1,000 on bills and you got $1,000 left, you got $1,000 to invest. Of course, don't take it literate. Like, you know, rent out here is $2, so you need a little more than that if you're living on your own. But if you're in your parents' crib saving money, whatever you might have it, you need more income than expenses. You can't be spending everything you make. You need some money to put up for investments to save in a banking account. So first thing we're gonna do, we're gonna take it back to the basics. The basics. Saving versus investing. So saving is like putting your money in a big piggy bank. It's safe, it doesn't grow much. You use savings for things you need soon. Clothes, emergencies, gifts. It's not risky, but your money doesn't grow as fast. You can save in a bank. So I have savings account and I have an investment account. I have savings for stuff that's more near term, emergency fund, things like that. I have an investing account that's more long term, money that I don't need for the next 5 years, 10 years, long term. Investing is like planting a money tree. It grows over time, but you need patience. You invest money when you want it to grow bigger in the future, like retirement or a car. It can go up, it can go down, but over time, it's better than saving. You can invest in stocks, businesses, or even real estate. Okay, so let's cover the basics, saving versus investing. Now, what I want to do now is two main things that you can invest in when it comes to investing. Since I particularly cover stocks on my channel, if you've been following me, you can go back to a few of my old videos and you can look into my portfolio. We're gonna get into my portfolio as well. But the two main things is that you can do an ETF or you can invest in a stock. So I suggest if you're beginning, you invest in an ETF. An ETF is professionally managed. I'm not a financial advisor. It's a pool of several investments. It's less risky. It can be less liquid, various types of securities. A stock is personally managed, individual shares of a company. It can be potentially riskier, can be more liquid, and it's more riskier. I'm gonna say like that. Individual stock is more riskier. So if you just want to put your money up, you don't want to listen to earnings reports, you don't want to follow the company on a daily, weekly basis, ETF is for you. If you think you can handle and keep up with the stocks and valuing a company and all that type of stuff, stock may be for you, you know, but these are the two differences between an ETF and a stock. I suggest if you're a beginner investor, you invest in the ETF. Now that we covered that, I'm gonna go ahead and show you my individual investment account now. Actually, we gonna actually go here. We're gonna go to finish the PowerPoint. Okay, where we gonna go here? So now let's just use NVIDIA for an example as far as an individual stock. I'm not saying invest in NVIDIA, but I'm just showing you what I do an example. NVIDIA over the past 5 years have gone over 1,000%. This is not normal. Most companies do not do this, but if you're early on a company, you can possibly see these type of returns depending on if you're trendy, you have an edge in the market. Now, you don't need a lot of money to invest. Now, what I'm using here is a brokerage account. So you're like, Ron, what's a brokerage account? A brokerage account is essentially a account that you can put money in to invest in stocks and investments. So you have your Fidelity and you have your Robinhood. Now, I'm not about to walk step by step how to open an account. It's the 21st century. It's 2026. Y'all be on TikTok. Y'all know how to open up an account. But it's different type of investment accounts. Today we're covering a brokerage account, which is right here. Trade smarter with zero commissions. You have retirement accounts, you have Roth IRAs. Main things people do is your 401k. So you might be familiar with Fidelity. Your 401k is probably in here. My 401k is in here. You have a Roth IRA, which is you put post-tax money. So say after you get your check, your take-home cash, you take that money, you can put it in a Roth IRA, but there's a limit. I think it's like $7,000 to $7,500 you can put in a year into this Roth IRA. But when you turn 59 and a half, 60 years old, you can take all that money out tax-free. Whereas a brokerage account, you're putting post-tax money, whatever money you take home, you put in this account, but if you sell, you get taxed. Long-term gain tax and short-term gain tax, but you have more access to it. So you don't have to wait till you're 60. I prioritize my brokerage account right now because I'm 26 and I'm not trying to wait till I'm 60 years old. I'm not trying to put all my money in there and I got to wait till I'm 60. I'm trying to retire early. I'm trying to retire early, essentially, before 60. But I still do contribute to my Roth IRA. I still plan for retirement. I plan to live long past 60. But I still got a long way to get there. So you can either do your Fidelity, open an account, put your social security, your name, your email, your address, all that type of stuff. Like I said, I'm not going to walk through it step by step. But you can do that, add your bank account, and then you're good. So between Robinhood and Fidelity, you can make these accounts. So you don't need a lot of money. You can start with just as little as $1. Transfer funds to your Robinhood individual account so you can start investing today. So either between Robinhood or Fidelity, I suggest to use your brokerage account. People have a bad take on Robinhood, but I've used it for a while and it's definitely made investing more friendlier and easier for me, So what I was saying, now we have NVIDIA. So this is an example of an individual stock that you could invest in. Not saying you should, not financial advice, but I'm just showing you how much I've put into NVIDIA over the past few years. As you can see here, I started buying NVIDIA back in October 27, 2023, and I just started with $8. You know what I mean? $8, 11 a.m. I bought a little bit of a share. It was currently at $400 a share. I was 23 years old. I didn't have $400. Well, I did, but I was beginning. So I was just dollar cost averaging. I put $8 in this week. That was October. December, I put $20 in. February, I put 15 in. March, I put 40 in. As you can see, it was 800. It was going up. I got a dividend. I put 60 in. I put 40 in. I put 50 in. It did a split. 30, 35. So like I'm showing y'all, you don't have to put thousands of dollars. You know what I mean? You can put fractional shares. You can buy fractional shares. You can put 10 here. There was a time where I was putting $250 every Monday and Friday a week. Just $5 a week I was putting into NVIDIA, So you can put as little as $1 in, investing isn't scary. It's a myth that you got $1,000 to invest. You're going to use a couple dollars to invest, But like I said, individual stocks are more riskier. Like year to date, NVIDIA is down almost 6%, but you got to control your emotions. That's the hard part, So I'm going to go back to my presentation here where I have some improvement. So just to give you two examples of a company like NVIDIA, which is an American technology company headquartered in California, founded by Jensen Huang. Their main thing is GPU. So this thing, NVIDIA powers AI. NVIDIA powers AI. That's all you need to know. Or you can do a Walmart. Most people know or are familiar with Walmart. It's the largest company by revenue, the largest private employer, family-owned business. I don't have to explain too much. Most people know what Walmart is. Now, as you can see here, over the past 5 years, like I said, NVIDIA has gone up over 1,000%. Walmart has gone up over around 100%. So it depends. It could be risky. What are your risk appetite? You can invest in a tech company and get greater returns, or you can invest in the blue chip and still get 100% return. That's still a great return on your money. Just it's just what your risk tolerance is, you know? Now, when it comes to ETFs, like I told you all, I believe investors should prioritize an ETF, or if you're a beginning investor. So that's your SPY, that's your VOO, or that's your VOG. So let's, for example, let's look at SPY. If you've been following along with the video, it's a basket of different companies. Over the past 5 years, SPY has gone up over about 75%, which is a good ROI. You know, don't get fooled. They're like, "Oh, I need the biggest company. I want 2,000%." Don't do that. You know what I mean? Just beat the S&P 500. 10, 15% a year, 20% a year is good return on investment. Now, like I said, ETFs are a basket of companies. This ETF has 33% technology, 12% financial services. So this might be your JP Morgan, your SoFi. This might be your Goldman Sachs, your bank companies. Technology might be your Microsoft, your Apple, your communication services. You got your consumer, you got your healthcare, your industrials, energy. So it's a mix. So when the market goes up, you get a nice return, but you're not getting a crazy return like NVIDIA. When the market goes down, though, you're not taking a 20, 30% hit like NVIDIA might take. You might take a 5% hit. So, you know, it's what depends on your risk tolerance. This company, this ETF holds mainly NVIDIA, 7% of NVIDIA, 6% of Apple, 5% of Microsoft, 3.5% of Amazon, 3% of Apple. 3% of Apple. So like I said, it's a basket of companies. You can dollars right here. I could put $10 in if I want it. Boom, review order, buy. I'm not gonna buy because I'm not buying ETFs right now. Or one of the main ones I was starting was VOG or VOO. You got VOO, which tracks the S&P 500. Over the past 5 years, it's up 75%. So about this, it's tracking the same thing as the SPY. Your main companies, NVIDIA, Apple, Microsoft. You know, a lot of these ETFs hold a lot of the same companies that I'm invested in individually. It's just less volatile. I like VOG because you get a little bit more tech exposure. Over the past 5 years, it's been up 83%, you know. And like I said, this is almost 50% technology. And it's the same thing. Your NVIDIA, your Microsoft, your Apple, your Broadcom, your Meta. It's just a basket of different companies. Like I said, I could put $25 in if I want. Review order. You know, it's not complicated. It's not complicated. And if I suggest you set up reoccurring investing every week, every month, where's it at? Why is it not showing it? I had well, hold on, let me zoom out a little bit. So right here, you can see my reoccurring investments. So I had reoccurring investments on one company I like, which was AMD. Or these are my reoccurring investments here. I had $2.50 every week going into Zeta, an individual company I like. I suggest you set up reoccurring investments so you don't even think about it. This is what I do. Every Monday and Friday, I put $20 a week, 20 in. I put 50 in, 100, 1,000 in, whatever your budget is, you know. But this is so that you don't think about it. You don't think about it at all. You don't have to remember, oh, let me buy stocks today. Let me start stocks. No. Do it automatically so you don't even think about it. Just like you have your bills come out every month, your mortgage, your rent, your Netflix subscription, it comes out automatically every month. I treat my investments like a bill. I invest it every month. You know what I mean? I suggest every 2 weeks. Every month is cool, but I'll say every 2 weeks, give you a little bit more exposure to the market, you know? Now, you probably ask me, Jonathan, why do I need to invest? You know, whoop. I'm going to show you. This right here is why you need to invest. Compound interest. The power of compound interest is going to work harder than saving. So let's look at the left here. Give you an example. You do an initial investments of $1,000. You put $100 a month in. I'm going to show you 3 examples. Annual returns of 8%, 12%, and 20%. Your average bank account is probably giving you less than 1% return on your money. Or if you do a high yield savings account, you might get 3%, 4% maybe. The interest rates are coming down, so you might get less than that. Versus the stock market, long term, you can see 8, 12, maybe 20% years in the stock market. So let's say you start at age 18. You you know, and you do $1,000 and you do 100 a month. By the time you're 65, if you're getting an 8% return, you're getting roughly $600,000 at 65 retirement. If you're able to get a 12% return a year, you're looking at roughly $3 million by 65 years old. If you're looking at 20% a year, $78 million by the time you're 65. But that's if you start at 18. The younger you start, the more your money has to your money has to compound. That's why it's important to start now. The sooner you start, the better. Now, let's say you start at 30, the same amount of money, 8% a year at 65, you're going to have $250,000. 12 years of not investing cost you almost 400 grand. 12 years of not investing, $400,000. It's crazy. Now, imagine 20%, 700,000. You missed out on $2.3 million because you waited 12 years to start investing. But people don't know. No one educates us in the school system. So, it's, you know, sometimes not your fault. But if you're watching this video, you know now. Let's get on it. And you see that the trains here. You start at 50. You at 65, you'll have $37,000. Whereas you start at 18, you almost had $600,000. Compound interest is the 10th one of the world's wonder, one of the greatest world wonder. Now, let's say you start with $1,000 and you work an extra job, you work part-time, you start your business, you grind for that extra couple $100 a month. You grind for 10 years, what I'm doing now. Let's say you add $500 a month. You start at 25 years old at an 8% return. By the time you turn 65, you can have $1.7 million. 12%, $4.5 million. 20% return, looking at $35 million plus by the time you're 65. If you start at 50, by the time you're 65 at an 8% return, you're gonna have roughly $200,000. That's versus if you started at 25, you would have had $1.7 million. Y'all get the gist. You can see starting at 25 gives you 10 extra return of starting at 50, even if you put the same amount of money in. Compound interest, guys. Compound interest. Now, if you want to use our referral code for Robinhood, I think this still works. Let me check. Yep, this is my referral code for Robinhood. If you're looking to sign up for a brokerage account, you know, ETF, like I said, is owning a big basket of thousands of companies, of the U.S. companies. So your money grows as most things grows in a company. I suggest, not financial advice, you do VOOG, VTI, or SPY. These are ticker symbols, you know, or if you do an individual stock, you know, like a Nike, a Microsoft, Meta, just do your own research. Individual stocks are riskier. They're more volatile, you know, but I don't want to make this too long. Hope this video was very helpful for you guys. Get started investing today. Time is on your side if you're young. The best time to invest is today. Is today. You know, investing, saving your money is good. It's good habits. You should have a savings account, emergency account, but investing is what's going to give you financial freedom. That's what we're looking for as of right now. Hope this helped. Like I said, more income than expenses. Open your brokerage account, add your bank account, set up recurring investments for however much money you can do. I suggest $500 to $1,000 or get to that amount, you know, and let your money work for you and invest in an ETF just to get started. Just put your money in there, get started every month, every week. And then as you get more comfortable and you start doing more your research, you can start maybe dabbling into individual stocks, but start with ETFs. Don't get freaked out. Stay the course and think long term. JRuss TV, appreciate you. We out.